As commanders, we unite.
40 men together, can't lose.
As one team of many leaders. We lead in every arena we enter.
Represent your team, but you represent your family. Fight like it.
We rise to moments that call for greatness.
Break it up, Pedro.
I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up this match. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up this match. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up this match. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up this match. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat on my ass.
As commanders, we unite.
40 men together, can't lose.
As one team of many leaders. We lead in every arena we enter.
Represent your team, but you represent your family. Fight like it.
We rise to moments that call for greatness.
Will be back in. You better bet on that, because Doug Williams is your competitor.
We fight to honor the legends before us. In the community we stand for. All of us. In many uniforms across the globe.
It's up to us. Nobody dictates to us.
This is our rally cry. Together we will demand history. Demand the future. Demand our legacy. Together we will take command.
Come fly with me.
Right.
Let's fly
It's
with
week one, Sports on the Hill podcast, pregame show, Washington Commanders, Jacksonville Jaguars, starting out the new inaugural season of the Commanders' new name. A lot of folks are still upset about it, but it is what it is. Welcome back, 2022 NFL season. Can't wait. We finally made it through the law without any football. But it's good to be back. CP3 live in the lab. Robbie G is sharing the feed. Appreciate that. He'll be back on live, I believe, tomorrow night for Sports on the Hill podcast. He's back from his vacation with the fam, so make sure you tune in tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. We'll be breaking down this game, of course, and along with the Nationals week that was. Been up and down, but we'll talk about that more. We're here to talk football. We're about 2 hours and 15 minutes away from kickoff, and it's going to be a very interesting game. The weather is definitely going to be a key factor. It's going to be rainy. It's raining now. Field conditions are going to be, we already know about the so-called horrible field conditions of the field at FedEx Field, but it's week one, so the field should be in great shape. But with rain and, two teams going out on the field, the field is going to get sloppy. The ball is going to be wet, so that's a tendency for turnovers, miscues, especially with it being week one. Coming out the gate, so it's always going to be a little bit of rust on the team. They haven't played since week 2 of the preseason. Week 3 was mostly the backups and folks trying to make the squad. So yeah, this game is going to be very interesting because now the weather goes into it, along with everybody looks at Jacksonville, the team that worst team in the league last year. But the X factor that I have is Doug Peterson, the new coach. We all know what he did when he was in Philly, and we know what he did to the defenses of the Commanders football team, Redskins, whatever you want to call them, while he was here. And if Scott Turner and Jack Del Rio don't have their act together, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm gonna stay optimistic because we've heard all the negative, we heard all the bad. I could go there, but I'm not. I'm hopeful that Scott Turner, is finally has a lot of weapons that he feels he can, move the ball around, spread it around, and he doesn't have to concentrate on, trying to feed Terry the ball or try to get Antonio going in the backfield or in screens and trying to force it. Now he has a whole, trick bag of weapons that Carson can spread the ball out to. And that's also going to be, one of the main storylines is how is Carson going to perform. First of all, week 1, new team, 3 teams in 3 years. Number 2, the team that they called it, he imploded and choked in week 18 of the season against Jacksonville. Jacksonville is spent some money in the off season, offensively and defensively, to improve along with the new coaching staff. So it's not the same Jacksonville squad, and we don't know what this Commander squad is. So it's going to be this is going to be a good barometer to see where this team is, especially coming out the gate, because we know they've been infamously known for coming out the gate slow in the game and during the season. We've had 0-2 starts, 1-3 starts, stuff like that, where it took us a while to get the momentum, the chemistry, all the things that we were hoping they were building in training camp, and it seems like it didn't work. Coaches spoke very highly of the work ethic and the way that the guys practice, and he did snap on them a few times when he saw some things he didn't like. And that's one thing I did like about Coach this training camp, that he wasn't as laid back. He said he was sitting on the defensive meetings. He didn't see something he liked. He spoke to Sam Mills the third. They didn't see eye to eye. He, made a move. But now he is no more excuses. Either put up or shut up. And I feel like that's his mentality right now, because everyone's talking and he's on the hot seat, 3rd year, boom, boom, boom. I'm not really in that mindset, but I can see where that heat would be coming from. So let's see. I got a question. What's up, Jason? Appreciate you tuning in. It said, can Carson Wentz be trusted on the Commanders? Yeah, that is a good question. Different scenery for different players helps them get better. And, he said one of the things that makes him feel more comfortable is that when Coach Rivera, when he first got here, Coach told him, hey, you're wanted here. That he said that, wasn't a big deal, but it did make a difference to give him more confidence and feel that, he has a place here, especially after the owner of the Colts have repeatedly, went after him in the media for whatever reason. I don't know if he, his daughter liked him or something, or he just was vindictive, but he was still talking about it last week. And I'm like, okay, we get it. You don't like him. He's no longer with your team. Why are you still talking about it? But, I mean, Carson, he has a great turnover interception ratio. He has a good arm. He's improving on his reading defenses. Everyone can get better, but he's definitely made some strides. He has more offensive weapons than he's ever had at any point in his career. And as long as he doesn't make the boneheaded plays and the dumb plays, if he takes that out of his game, or at least reduces it, then that's a huge X factor, because this team hasn't had a quarterback with an arm like his in a long time, and they can put up numbers that he can put up. And he, like I said, he doesn't turn the ball over. So if we can eliminate, the turnovers and get touchdowns instead of field goals in the red zone, which I feel this year we have a better chance of doing that with some of the weapons that they've acquired. Cole Turner, the rookie out of Nevada, 6'6", 250 pounds. All he did was catch touchdowns his last 2 years in college in the red zone. You got Logan Thomas coming back. He's supposed to be in for this game. I'm not really feeling that, especially with this weather coming off of ACL. I'm hoping that he's good to go, but he doesn't go unless, they only have one tight end. But I believe they should be healthy at tight end. So I don't know. I don't agree with Thomas playing today in this weather. But the inactive list to come out in a little while. Normally I go on a little later so I can have the inactive list during the pregame, but that's some other things going on. Let's go ahead and get into my keys of victory. And also at the end, for the fantasy football fans, I got a couple of stardom and sit-ins. I'm back in the fantasy football league. I had a good day. Got Josh Allen as my starting quarterback. So, yeah, my week starting out pretty good. But the keys to victory in this game, number one, offense has to get started fast. The Jacksonville defense has definitely made some acquisitions to make their defense better. But this team needs to get out the gate, and I would love to see a touchdown on the first drive. That would be a beautiful way to start. Give the team confidence, to give the crowd something to cheer for, and to show that, things are different. Because we know this team has rare success scoring touchdowns on the opening drive of the game or the half. North Turner, wow. Scott Turner has to have an effective game plan. Excuse me. Has to have his play calling has to be on point, because we can't afford 3 and outs, giving Jacksonville the ball over and over again. And with that young quarterback Trevor Lawrence, he's mobile, he's elusive, and if you give them many opportunities, they will find a way to get points on the board. So Scott Turner is definitely going to have to be on his A game calling, especially going against Doug Peterson. That's why I say Peterson is the X factor. Because if they don't step their game up, the coordinators for the Commanders, he can outcoach both of them. And then, that's not going to be pretty. Number 2, get Carson comfortable early. Get some play act, get the running game going, get the play action, short passes, get some screens, stuff to get the ball out of his hands quick and get it to the playmakers in space and let them do some things. Let him build his confidence up, and then that also gets the defense on their heels, because they don't know what to expect, especially if you throw the ball quick and you have an effective pass rush, because we've seen other teams do it to our defense. When we were getting pressure, they started going to the 3-step drop, throwing screens, quick slants, and stuff like that to avoid the rush getting to the quarterback. So we've seen it done against us. Let's flip it and do it to them. Number 3, defense. Same thing. Have to get off to a fast start. 3 and out, or at least, no long drive on the first drive. No points, definitely, on the first drive. If they give up points in the first drive, I'm going to be heated. But Doug Peterson, script the first 15 plays. He's a good play caller. So like I say, Del Rio better have his A game out there, because Peterson will embarrass him very quickly with his play calling, the way he sets his plays up, the strategy of his plays, the formations that he uses. I mean, he's definitely a top offensive minded head coach. Del Rio has to create some chaos with this new 4-2-5 defense. Everyone's complaining about the linebackers, that he didn't address the linebacker core, and that's going to be a weakness. But with the 4-2-5, they're running with the Buffalo nickel and the players that they have in those positions now. Even though Cam Curl is out this game, he has a broken thumb, he had surgery. He said most likely he'll be ready to go next week, but he won't be in. Jeremy Reeves will probably get the start. Then you have Percy Butler, and Derek Forrest also be filling in, the second-year player, and said he's made strides in the off season. He's ready to go in next man up. So let's see what his defense going to do. So he's going to have to cause some havoc, because Peterson's going to throw some different looks at him. And he knows rookies out there, and he know our defense, how they played last year. He's going to look to try to continue that trend. And it's up to Del Rio to stop that, dictate to the offense, don't allow the offense to dictate to the defense. That's why I feel like Del Rio was lacking it. He's more reactionary than rather proactive, and starting to get and try to get pressure and then see what happens. If they beat the coverage, he makes a perfect throw. Okay, but at least you're being proactive. Don't do that after you're down 10 points or after they made a big play. Okay, let's go blitz now. After you can set in zone coverage for 2-3 plays in a row and not switching up. And I'm hoping we see more man coverage out of the defense because the corners that they've acquired and drafted can play man. Jamin Davis, he's outside now, supposed to be covering the tight ends and the running backs. He has the speed to keep up with him. If he's making these strides, you got to put him out there in a position to win and see what he can do. So we're going to have to see a good game plan from both of these coordinators because, like I said, Peterson is their dude when it comes to calling plays. I don't know if folks have studied him or because he was in Philly that folks didn't like him, but he's a very quality offensive play caller. Number 4, the players need to play fast, need to play hungry, hustle, get to the ball, tackle, solid tackle. Don't want to see no missed tackles, blown tackles. It's going to be wet out there. Got to perfect the technique, stay the form, defensive lineman, stay in your rush lanes. Like I said, Trevor Lawrence, notorious for breaking the pocket to get that first down on third downs. And I'm not even going to, I was going to bring up third downs, but it's a new year. It's, everybody's at 0% right now. Want to see what this team does on third down, but I would love to see this third down unit on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, make some progress this year because I'm tired of seeing the same old thing. I'm tired of hearing about the same old thing. So, Coach, hopefully we do see some improvement in that aspect. Like I said, stay disciplined. Trust your eyes. Trust what you see. Trust what you study. Don't go out there freelancing. It's all about the unit playing together, and that's the whole key. We saw it against Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes, was buying time because they weren't staying disciplined, weren't staying in their lanes, and you have to be aware if you're rushing and you're getting upfield and you're at the same level as a quarterback, then you need to stay right there. Don't continue to push upfield because then you leave that gap open and you're trying to get to one outside. He cuts right in where you came from. So we've seen that over and over again. Hopefully we don't. We know about Ryan Kerrigan is now, assistant D-line coach. Hopefully he can help instill that in him because he was always a very disciplined rusher. He always stayed in his lane and he was very effective at reading the quarterback. We know about all the pick six that he had, reading the quarterback on the screens, batting the ball, taking it back to the house. So those are intangibles that hopefully he can give to some of these young guys because Montez Sweat is poised to have a breakout year after the crazy, unfortunate season he had last year. And with Chase Young out, we're definitely going to need him to get off to a fast start. But we know Chase won't be back for a few weeks. So let's see. And number 5, make adjustments when needed. Don't wait till halftime. If something is working in the first quarter for them and it isn't working for the defense or the offense, switch it up. Don't wait until, halftime to do it if, you're down 7-0, 10-0. You got to start making those adjustments on the fly because we've seen other teams do it to us. Our defense will be working, then boom, they switch up. We don't make adjustments, they do. But, boom, they get a drive, boom, we down 10 points. So, yeah, we got to make adjustments better, not just wait until halftime. You got to make adjustments on the fly. That's the only way you're going to be successful in this league. And number 6, the X factor, as I keep on saying. A lot of folks, I don't know if they're going to say I love Doug Peterson, but I've watched him. Like I said, he was in Philly for 5 years. So I've seen what he can do firsthand, 10 games. And I watched him, before because I knew his name. If they don't step their game up against this dude, yeah, it's going to be a lot of angry Commanders fans and a lot of negative talk that I won't even be able to, try to divert from. So it's just like, yeah, they have to come out this game with a victory. Has to look and feel like this team is making progress. That's all we ask for. That's all I've been saying. Let's see what happens and move forward. And get ready to wrap up because it's about 11. Yeah, I'm about to get things set up myself. To wrap up, I'm gonna go ahead and give a quick fantasy football start. I'm gonna sit them because week 1 starting. I know a lot of folks are into the fantasy football. I'm not as into it as I used to be, but like I said, I got a league that I'm in that I'm trying to get the bragging rights to. Starting, I'm gonna just do for each position 1 player and call it a day. I can't believe that I'm saying this, but for a quarterback, they're saying you should start Kirk Cousins, and most likely you should sit Dak Prescott. He has a sore ankle and going up against Tampa. I don't want everybody to think it's just anti-Cowboys. This is just what I was researching and, what I saw. Running backs, Rashad Penny to start. Zeke, you should sit. Wide receiver, Elijah Moore for the Jets, you should start. Amari Cooper for the Browns, you should sit. Kittle for the 49ers, who I have. He will be sitting on the bench. He's probably going to be a no-go. Gerald Everett, who I picked up, and it should is a start, so that's a good look. Tyler Lockett also should be I should have been a sit. That's my bad. I reversed that. Lockett should have been a sit, and Christian Kirk, they say, with Jacksonville, should be a start going against our defense today. We will see. We will see. What you say, Robbie? Said Michael Irvin said Cousins is getting 8 passing touchdowns today. Wow. I do have it on. I don't have the sound on. I'm glad I didn't hear that. I probably would have choked on my words. He's going against Green Bay, but I don't see 8 touchdowns. I don't know. That's wild. That's wild. And yeah, that's about. I didn't even do a defense or a kicker. I just did position players. But that's pretty much all I have to say to start the game out. Make sure you tune in after the game, probably about 30, maybe 45 minutes after the game for my post-game show right before At the Bar Radio, which starts around 6. So I try to be on for no more than about 30, 45 minutes. Answering any questions, listening to any gripes, real gripes, not the Daniel Snyder curse BS and all that other stuff. But tune in, like I said, At the Bar Radio at 6, post game at around 4:30, and tomorrow night Sports on Hill podcast 9 o'clock. We're breaking down the Nats and the Commanders and whatever else we might get into. Appreciate you checking us out. All right, Rob. Yeah, we can see if we can do a post game. I'll be set up at the studio in Virginia. I'm about to head over to the studio shortly. So appreciate y'all checking us out. Enjoy the game. NFL is back. Hail to the Commanders. DC sports without the politics. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a motto. It's what we do. CP3 live from the lab. Hail to the Commanders. See you after the game.